call to order. Economic Development Commission of East Granby, Connecticut, Monday, June 23rd, 2025, at 5:33. Present, we have Peter. We have Tom. We have Dan. We have Glenn and myself. So absent is Carrie and Todd. Minutes, review minutes from April's meeting. So, minutes.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from April?
I was not here.
As long as you read them.
Oh, no, I was in May. You're talking
Yeah.
April?
Yeah, they're
we-
April.
yeah,
Oh, you're
we-
doing April.
We didn't have a quorum last meeting
Okay.
to approve the minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay, so April.
I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? So motion?
Peter made a motion, Glenn
I mean,
seconded.
so approved?
Yeah.
Yes.
approved.
Yes. All right. Well, okay. So, all right. There's no public today. We did not have quorum last time, but we did talk a lot. That's for certain.
Did Robin join last time, or?
She did, she was
She did.
here.
She was here.
Like physically, or?
She was physically in the room.
Physically.
Wow,
Yeah.
Cameo appearance.
Wow, I missed it.
I don't remember seeing a report, so.
No, she did not have a
Yeah.
report this month, she said.
Did you see anything last month? I know it's unofficial, but. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I know of. The signs are starting to come up.
Yeah,
Right.
the entry signs look great. I was able to make it, but,
Yeah.
the ribbon cutting and all that.
Yeah, I went to the ribbon cutting.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen the pictures. I don't know if they're posted.
Yeah, they were on Facebook. yeah.
Okay, and then, I apologize, I really just don't know anything else that's happening. What, I just know that there is a meeting on the 30th. Public, what is that?
For the P and Z.
Is it P&Z?
Television.
It's a town meeting.
didn't Silverman,
Yours is a Silverman.
That's July 2nd, they have a wetlands application in.
What's posted on the road for the 30th?
That I don't know. It's not planning and zoning, and it's not.
I just noticed it today coming in.
Wetlands is July 2nd, planning and, there's a POCD public workshop at the community center on July 7th. Is that the Monday? And then July 8th is the planning and zoning meeting. But the POCD, they're having like public interaction.
nothing on the 30th on the calendar.
I could be reading it wrong, driving by too quickly.
Could be June, dog license month.
Okay.
Oh, that's what the sign said, by June 30th. Is
That's what that is? Okay.
Yeah, license the
So
dog.
Silverman must be moving along then if they're,
Because they have the wetlands application.
They have the wetlands application
Yep.
in. And
it's been a while since we've heard anything from them. That's good.
Well, I think they were finishing up their other project.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I went in Route 20. I went in Route 20.
is that where, yeah.
Behind liquor cabinet.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I meant, I mean, the other project.
Oh, where they were-
the Highway part of Route 20.
Right, that's
Yeah.
the other.
That's from Windsor Locks, right?
Windsor
Windsor
Locks. Yeah, because that side is Windsor Locks, this side is Windsor, yeah.
Yeah. So, which is good. I haven't heard anything, or have you heard anything anymore about the solar?
Broadleaf had a thing a week ago or so. I went to that.
Okay.
So they was just like they had a couple posters in the community center and a
Yeah.
couple of representatives and all that. But
Do you run here?
they're not going
feel like I
to start planning zoning until this fall.
The equipment side is expected.
Yes, yeah. And then what they are doing right now is they are digging holes next to rails to trails. So from the equipment in East Granby to the interconnect, they're going to go underneath the rails to trails.
Okay.
So it's going to be an underground cable. So that was kind of the only new development that I knew of. But otherwise, yeah, they're going to go in front of Granby and East Granby this fall, and then there's no dirt there, so they plan to just grow kind of grass or something
Yeah.
and plow it in multiple times to kind of build up the soil.
Yep.
But they're not going to start construction until 2027. It'll take a whole year, and then they'll be operation in first quarter of 2028.
Everything's been cleared off the land there.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I think they have to be, Monroe has to be gone by end of August.
Will they bring solar that entire area, like in front of, because they cleared where? In front of that graveyard there, right
Well,
by the
they-
airport, and then farther down the corner? as
So that
well?
little spot next to the graveyard, they're not going to do anything, because I did ask them about that one. But everything else, yeah, they're going to do.
Okay.
And then if you're going on Floydville from East Granby to Granby on the left-hand side, that's an east-west kind of position. Those are actually going to be movable panels. Everything else will be fixed.
On the right. The left is movable.
On the left is movable, yeah. And then the other thing that they wanted to do, two things they wanted to do. For East Granby, they're talking to R&R, they want to build a trail to connect the rails to trails to Granbrook as a thank you to the town. And then for Granby, there's like a little plot of land where the building is, the actual official building on 10202. They want to do something for Granby, like a ball field or whatever Granby wants for that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of their,
So what's R&R have to do with that?
the pathway from rails to trails would have to go on R&R property. in the
Behind
back.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's, because it's such a big hill there, so they would have to go behind R&R to connect to
Okay.
Granbrook. With
Because
it.
the way that the trails.
Right by that old, started that old train station there, the original
Yeah,
train
yeah, we're
station.
sitting there,
should go
East
along
Granby.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that land Ron's not using?
No, it would be R&R. Well, I don't know. I don't know. They said they want to reach out.
I think it's woods back there, I don't know, I'm not
It's a
sure.
little swampy back there, to be honest.
Yeah, they do know it's a
Trails, they
problem,
can-
so-
The trail runs right there, though.
Yeah, it runs through a lot of wetland areas and stuff, so.
Yeah.
That's a good report. Wasn't expecting to get a report.
It's been on my mind, and I think it's been on a lot of people's mind.
Yeah, I wasn't sure and stuff like that, so. But yeah, we have to wait till the fall to find out what kind of revenue we're going to get. But it's going to be more than the nursery, so that'll be nice. Especially with the equipment and the paneling use and all that stuff.
But most of the equipment, the transformers and everything will be on
East Granby.
East Granby property.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
So that'll increase, definitely be an increase in revenue for us.
Yep.
I didn't hear any negative people there, but there was only like 500 or 600 people there in the town.
Small attendance.
But it was open for like, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours, so I didn't stick around that long.
Yeah. I have to just follow up with Robin to see where we're at with the text amendment. I haven't heard anything yet, so. I'll follow up with-
No, it's gone to Board of Selectmen.
I know that part.
But,
Yeah, but I
yeah,
haven't seen
it
it.
hasn't.
I don't know what's going
No.
on past that. Yep. So.
I'm sorry, I didn't,
The text amendment.
oh,
for
that
the
we
zones. Yeah,
approved
that we
in
approved.
April?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, we'll know more soon, and I'll let everybody know on that. So it has to go through board selects, and the town attorney will also look at it, and then from there, it goes to public. So, the exact date. That's where we're on tax and business relations, solicitations. I want to kind of skip over that and look at this. I did talk to Farmington Valley. So I need a date, because I've also walked into walk and she wasn't there, and she's the only person. I've walked her like 3 times and she wasn't there.
Well, we get the books ready to go out by the end of August. So I ideally like mid-July, need
Okay.
a yes or no, so I
Yep.
can get them in the book.
So I was taking walk in Farmington Valley. Who had R&R?
I did.
You had R&R.
Yep.
Are we good?
I went in there and saw Ron,
Yeah.
and the conversation sounded like he didn't know what I was talking about. So he was in the office. I think he's recovering from some medical thing or something. So I sent the information that Michelle sent me with the links to Scott.
Scott.
Scott's the manager there now, I think, and that's where it is.
Okay.
I can circle back with him and just
Yeah.
yay or nay, but
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot going on, so,
Mm.
just circle back with him.
yeah.
And again, I've already talked to Farmington, they just have to get back to me, and she hasn't been there the last 3 times to necessarily deal with over at WOW. So, is there anyone else? Did you have anybody?
I can,
Okay.
I mean, at this point, anyone I haven't heard from, I usually make a phone call and just confirm that they want to be in it. It's free. I mean,
I'll call
it's all free
I
advertising.
won't email Scott. I'll call him.
Give him a call and
I'll
just
call.
say, all we need is a little logo and it's free to get your name out there.
Yep. All right. New businesses in town? Just to the right of Amped. That's the only new business I know of.
What is it?
I don't really know.
It's a
There's a-
physical therapy office.
Is that what it is?
It's
Oh, okay.
actually on our list. He wants to be part of the passport program.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's Fortify, is that what it's, I know it's really tiny.
Fortify Wellness.
saw a
Physical-
sign.
Yes,
there.
Fortify Wellness.
And it was different, so I wanted to bring it up.
Oh, David Rose.
Yep.
You might want to call him, like your foot.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time, but who's the guy that sells the mulch and stone?
Oh,
He's out here.
East Granby Mulch and Stone.
Is he on here?
Ron Hunt, yep.
Ron Hunt.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, he does it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, now he has bags. You can go down and just grab a bag.
You go up?
You can just go down and grab a bag now, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Bag
great.
what?
Okay.
Mulch.
Yeah.
It's great. Better than that, then fill up.
Can I
the
get
truck.
like 25 yards for next year for me?
Sure.
Taking orders.
I went through 25 yards.
Onto the
this year, my
backyard,
yard.
backyard.
It's a lot of bags.
On the bridge.
I went through 25 yards this year.
Wow.
It's not good.
All right. So if we can get if one of you, the two of you want to reach out, and let's do a talk turkey interview. That's all good.
Sure. You want to reach out? Or?
Yeah, all right, to the new physical therapy
Yeah.
place. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. That's the only one.
Maybe
that I-
you should go, Dave, and have your ankle looked at.
Oh.
They get a freebie. Or we can do-
Will they help train me so I can actually make it through a full season?
You missed it, Dave. Gimped in here a little bit.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah, I'm gimping. That's right.
The wrong time of year. Supposed to be healthy in the sun.
Oh, no kidding.
Didn't somebody mention last meeting about an antique store coming to town?
No, it's in Granby.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah.
That's right, but I heard that Chic and Antique from Suffield is moving to East Granby.
Oh,
It was you that mentioned that.
really?
last meeting.
I knew that they
No,
were
we-
moving. I didn't know where they were moving
To
to.
where, where the old appliance place used to be across the street there, or
No, I
what's
can't remember
open?
where they said they were going. I think down more by R&R.
On
Okay.
Hartford
There's an
Ave.
empty spot
Okay.
over there.
Okay.
I had bought a table from them, so I saw that they had advertised on Facebook that we're moving to East Granby.
That's nice. I did know they were moving, but I didn't know where.
Yeah, I think
So
they're coming.
which building are they going into?
I think it's over on Hartford Ave, down by R&R. So I
Okay.
don't know if it's one of those buildings or, it wouldn't be the old railroad station, right?
No,
That's not big enough.
I mean, it is, but
Well, that side of the road has a bunch of real estate available there. There was a podiatrist there that's gone. I don't know what's going on.
So maybe it's one of those empty
Yeah.
buildings.
that kind of brings up another question. I do not know the answer to. The fish market was trying to get approval to put tables think, out there for his truck. Do we know if that was approved?
I have not heard anything recently about that.
I thought it did get approved.
The food truck text
truck.
amendment passed that he could
Food
put
truck
his
did.
food
Oh,
truck
you're
out.
asking to?
That he would also put tables.
Oh, okay,
Right,
I'm sorry.
that
I
I
got
have
it too
not
combined.
heard.
I don't know.
We'll leave that to when we meet again.
Get a little weird with the tables, with restrooms and stuff. Is that what aren't there some state mandates where if you're,
If you're serving food.
Yeah.
Depends on how many tables you have.
right,
So, yeah, but it depends on how many tables
But
you have.
he's gonna actually have like tables outside.
That was my
Or
thought.
something.
That's what I understood. Like he wanted to do with the truck, put it there and have some tables.
Okay, some picnic tables or something.
That was my understanding. So, I could be wrong, but that's what I was told. One of the things that we discussed at last meeting, which was not an official meeting, was the summer. I know a lot of us aren't here during the summer. And whether to reconvene after this meeting in September. So we take July and August off. I think it's appropriate. So again, I know a group of us don't stay around here. That would leave us to Zoom, but I know it gets a little hard, to organize ourselves during the summer, just in general.
I think it's a fair idea in light of the fact we don't have a ton of stuff going on either. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of pressing.
No. We have the tax incentive in winter. We have to wait on, see what's going on with Silverman as it goes through their approval. By that point, we also waiting on what's going on with the solar. So, and by the time we reconvene, we're kind of going to be at the tail end of this ending. Too. So we'll already have the passport in place, and, so it's a good time to kind of, there isn't, you're right, a ton going on in these next 2 months. So I just wanted to put it out there and see if everybody was in agreement.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Silverman presented plans and that was it.
It's in wetlands.
It's at wetlands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second, right, the second is wetlands meeting?
Yeah.
July
July
2nd.
2nd. It's actually the public hearing for it, so.
Well, it is a
It's
open
already
public hearing,
back
okay.
up.
Yeah.
His original approval, he needed wetlands approval for that too? They needed wetlands approval?
So,
Yes.
I believe so.
Be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one meeting, that's one thing to be in front of, if we are around and you us are around.
I'm gonna drive up, yeah.
Yeah, that's important. So many people in town. It's such a large plot and it took a lot to get it to a point of sale to where we are today.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot going on with especially East Street connection to
Yep.
School Street. Behind the liquor cabinet, I mean, that whole property, that whole area is gonna change.
Tremendously. I think,
Yeah.
we said this a few years ago, if you have 5 years, a lot of this is gonna look different. In the village center,
Yeah.
so.
It's been 5 years in the works, so it's sort of coming to fruition
Exactly.
finally.
Coming to fruition. Yeah, that is for certain, so.
Do you know what time that meeting starts?
So,
Yeah, I can be there.
And Silverman's proposal, they still have apartment buildings and all that still in it?
I think it was just 2 warehouses and that was it.
Just 2 warehouses?
Yeah. 300,000 and a 400,000.
Yeah.
But that was on Facebook, so
I don't know.
Must be true then.
that's my point.
it's on the website, on the town website.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
can look
okay.
under wetlands and then the applications there.
Yeah.
Because before it was everything from a park in front to apartments to,
Right now, it's the 2 warehouses.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's not even what wetlands is not even talking about that part yet. It's
Right.
more the cut through. And
Because it's phases, like
Driveway,
they were
right.
going to look at it with Ed. So this is, the warehouses are obviously the first phase,
Right.
including the cut through the wetlands.
They don't need any zoning changes, correct, for the warehouses?
I believe so, no? No, because they're within the guidelines.
Current-
Last time they wanted to build it bigger, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Current guidelines.
Yeah, last time they wanted to build a bigger warehouse, that's why, one of the reasons it got. But this application is within the current guidelines.
It is.
It is. We purposely did that this time, to
Yeah.
get approval, I guess.
That would be important to show up that.
Yep. Yeah, last time it was pretty well attended. So.
So there's going to be a public hearing July 2nd.
Yep.
I'd be interested in going. We're speaking on behalf of ourselves as citizens,
Yeah,
correct?
because I'm not here, I'll be away. So, we would be. So, I kind of look at, as individually, like, as a collective, we meet, but individually, we all live here, right? Or have an interest in town, right?
Sure.
As individuals, right? And we may not always agree, right? So it's important for us to take our perspective and voice it as individuals, in the town. If we had more time and whatnot to write something from an EDC, some of these times, some of these just move quicker than we have time to, maybe we could write something.
It's a slippery slope, right?
It is. It's a slippery slope because it's not, if we write something, in my opinion, everybody has to be in agreement in the EDC to write.
Well, last time we voted on
We did.
it, and I was in opposition, and the letters
Yep.
still went forward.
Right. And see, that's where I'm a little different. If it's unanimous, I say, in those cases, it would make sense to write it a letter. But we're not always going to be unanimous. And we all have our different perspectives on how we look at initiatives that are going on. So, I look at this as us as individuals, though we are part of the Economic Development Commission. I think that's important, for us. But again, if we did have more time and we did unanimously agree, then that's where I think you could write a letter, It's when you don't, that's where it does get tricky, because it's like, yeah, we all agree to accept, because it's important to also point out that it maybe, in that particular case, it would have been prudent because you weren't the only one, right? And there was, I think someone abstained, I think Paul abstained.
No, I was the only one that voted to support it. Everybody voted against it, including Paul.
I don't know, I think
I'll bet
somebody
you $100
abstained. Yeah. I'll go,
200.
to go back and look.
Hesitated.
I want to say that somebody abstained. Yeah. In that particular one. Anyways.
My feeling is, how is the Economic Development Commission? How do we vote against economic development
Yeah.
on land that's zoned for it? I mean,
Yeah.
we can't keep shooting ourselves in the
I
foot.
agree. I think it's how we look at it from an economic development perspective. And that's why I'm saying what I was saying, is how we perceive it from an economic development perspective. It's not, in some cases, may not be that we disagree with it in general, is that we may have a different disposition as to
how it is executed, right? So when they came here last time, it was one building. Many people wanted 3 buildings, 2 buildings. You know, it wasn't completely for the singular building. That was the main issue when it came up against.
The size.
Yeah, the size. And
Because they need a variance for it.
correct. So in goes back to what I was getting at. I think we all are here and we all have the same mindedness in the fact that we're here to promote economic development for the town. It's just we may have differing viewpoints as to how that is looked at, right? And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we all agree. Like when Ken Vasunas was here, I think everybody actually agreed, with how he was presenting.
I mean, I look at this is the biggest economic driver in this town ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
We've got a lawsuit, if I understand correctly, on the property on Seymour Road, right? Because he was denied.
Yep.
Those cases have already been, one in the state Supreme Court. Property owner has reasonable rights to the use of the property,
Yep.
So, as an economic development commission, I think moving forward, I think we've got to look at these things in a positive light.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a NIMBY somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always somebody close to the line in everything in life, right? So I just think it's going to be a interesting proposal moving forward. And I think the economic future and the sustainment of a standalone school system in this town is dependent upon those tax dollars.
Yep. 100%.
At the same time, too, I don't disagree that we should look at moving forward positively, right, in terms of those things. But at the same time, too, if we open the floodgates to these companies coming in, they put massive warehouses everywhere and butt them right up against whomever's property. They would push the line just like, oh yeah, you're going to let us put in a 300,000? Can we do 700,000? Can we do, right? They're always going to want to keep pushing it, right? And I think that's where we have to find that balance.
But they're not asking for any zoning change. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think this is more cookie cutter than the first original proposal.
It's definitely
Or they 600,000? Or were they 800,000?
Or even 800.
Yeah.
I remember 800 originally,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it settled out. I mean,
I think,
you know.
I think there's always going to be a difference when we're talking about something that's within zoning regs and something that's special purpose. So we had Ken here months ago, and that was special purpose, right? That's something we have to figure out how to get our head around as a group, right? And that's where we, at that point in time, was like, we support it, but this is our opinion as to how we would support it, right?
Right.
So in this case, he's really just well within his means to place the warehouses in, that's being presented, right? I don't know that. Peter brought up, I don't know that there's any special purpose here other than having to go through wetlands and making sure they get approval for wetlands, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The other phases, that's a whole different topic. We're not really there yet. So, this is just phase 1, and it's within. So, from us, our perspective, it's just moving as it would be, as with any other business coming into town, right?
I just think it's going to be a very polarizing issue.
But that's the big thing to remember here is he's within zoning. Regardless, he's within zoning. The crux of this is the wetlands piece. So.
You're still talking about the Silverman property over there? That's okay.
Yeah. That's the approval part there. So.
You're always going to be polarized with people that just don't want to change, too.
Right.
It's just that's inevitable.
My perspective is
No,
they have,
all the time.
in my perspective, they have every right, to that, and it's their thought and perspective on the conservation, mission of the town, right? And there's just two sides, and there's just always going to be. And in my opinion, they have every right to their side and their opinion, because we have every right to our side and our opinion.
Well, I guess it's the United States, we do get their opinion still, right?
We do. Yep. So.
And I just look at it as a very, very, like I said, probably the biggest economic driver in this community in
Yep.
50 years, probably.
I think everything that's happening right now is that. It's a collective of what's happening, in town. It's going to start, it's just that domino is just going to continue to fall over, as we progress, because, we started with the signage, you have what's going on School Street, they're going to close it out, you have Silverman Group, we have the solar, we have, the other project on School Street for housing, we have Bramblebush housing, what's going next. So there's a lot going on. Then we have a third person who is working on the development of the bigger apartments.
Which department's doing?
So is it,
Nicholson?
is that what it is? Yeah.
Over at
Yeah.
East
Or by the creek.
There's another, so that, we brought it up last time. There's another developer that is really moving forward with
With the
that.
land that's for sale down that way?
Yeah, which are the ones they're bringing up against, across from the cemetery.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So, and last I knew, in the last conversations we had with Robin, it's just, really trying to move that forward. That's a lot going on. Then that's going to leave, you have the property for lease at the end of School Street, right, on the left-hand side. If you go down School Street,
corner, you
yeah,
said,
the
yeah.
corner, once you close it off, will it move? It could very well cause it to move across the street.
That exit there. and then-
Yep. Then across the street, you have the other lots. I mean, all this is going to start moving around.
It'll kind of snowball, I think. I just, my feeling is that Silverman's the real kickoff to the town center project,
Yeah.
And School Street, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
I
School
mean, that
Street,
that whole thing, I mean,
Yeah.
that plaza's gonna have two fronts now, so.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, they could end up, I don't know how much land they're gonna have behind the plaza still that they could develop
Yeah.
something along the back of the store
Yeah.
or have multiple entrances or,
Yep.
depending on how they do it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that plaza could really change.
And then Ken was looking at, I think he had an engineer out there looking at, coming out onto Route 20 and how do you kind of develop it so it's a safer exit, which in that case makes it easier and safer for anybody traveling on Route 20 to move in between the properties that he has. So I think it's all in the right direction, and it's all centered within the village center and the transition zone.
Right.
We don't have anybody coming out, in the, on 187, saying, oh, I'm gonna put this industrial building here. That's not happening. It's all within the permissible zones.
Yeah, we'll see when this moves forward, how it all is perceived, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So,
But once the center develops and stuff, that'll change a lot. More people hopefully the developments around it, like East Street and things like that, are definitely
Right.
going to be feeding into that.
Yes.
And, that'll
Well, that was the point of the tax.
snowball away.
Yeah, right.
In a good way.
Getting this tax incentive plan
Yeah.
together now and approved is only going to help those property owners develop or rehab what they have, and it's built to provide an incentive for small businesses all the way up to large businesses, right? And, that's the important piece of this, is it's not centered around just large businesses, it's businesses in general. So,
think we get a Catholic church here next?
Most are being sold, so I don't know about that.
Good question. But actually, talking about that, out of the village plan, that corner piece where the Congregational Church is, that was brought up as a good parcel of land. I don't know that anybody's ever going to let go of it.
Well, the church owns something across Route 20, a little bit of land across Route 20, but then that,
They do?
yeah, actually, they have a little piece of land across. But that would be a great, like, town's green. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have a town green.
It would.
So,
It would.
or
Yeah.
do something along those
Or one of
lines.
those
maybe.
New England towns that doesn't have a well-defined
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today.
Yeah.
But that's great for farmers markets and, craft
Yeah.
shows and everything else. It really
Yeah.
brings in,
Yep.
and it's visible.
Just visibility wise, when you're traveling 187 down into town, now that everything is cleared, they left the large tree, that old Kane's Market catering, it actually looks a lot nicer.
It does.
You know, it really
Prime piece of
does.
property we should have bought.
It looks fantastic. And we'll see what happens, you know.
So there is a little slice of land across from the Congregational Church, but it's, I don't know, it's
20 feet maybe wide.
a quarter of an acre.
Okay.
It's this little strip here, Carrie.
Oh, right in front, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what good that is.
Park cars maybe, right?
And then, yeah, but not for church.
No.
Yeah.
And, you know, just thinking about I don't know how many people realize it, but we think about,
Sorry.
is across from the Congregational Church, you cross the four-way intersection on the left-hand side, there are those commercial, you know, like buildings also, businesses. And I know that there was recently a lease sign out there to try, to try and bring somebody new into that. So we should pay attention to who is going in and out of there.
How about Kane's, where Kane's was, or that piece of land where the tree is and everything?
Yep.
I mean, I've heard different things, but I don't know if anything's been proposed yet or anything like that ever.
I think it's going to be two things, personally. Speaking, I think in the back, you know, is going to be, and I don't know for certain, I think in the back is going to be some office space.
By the library, across from the library.
Right, that's why it's being built out.
Yeah.
And then, or I think,
Okay.
and then the other one's restaurant, right, the street facing. So you have the garage, which is being built out and somewhat converted,
Okay.
right? And then you have which is the restaurant catering. So I think that's staying the same.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
The buildings look a little rough, but
Yeah, but you notice, like,
Yeah.
if you, every, like, few weeks you drive by, it's cleaning up more and more.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff back there.
Yeah, and
I gotta run.
you got it.
Thank you. September then.
September.
Okay.
Yep.
Have a great summer, everybody.
You too, take care.
Hopefully it stops raining and isn't 100 degrees, right?
Right. So,
Not.
we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
But I don't know of any, it's restaurant.
That's a nice piece of land,
I know.
yeah, size. Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah.
They have active building permits, so they're fixing it up,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't be doing what they're doing without this building.
But I haven't been by it in a few weeks, but is it staked out at all or anything, or no, it's just cleared?
Well, you see, the old garages, like, they are going at it. It's looking better and better.
Okay.
Yep.
And from the library side, I know that there was like smoothing out of the land out back there.
Yep.
There was it was really bumpy and holes in that, so.
Yep.
They were moving a lot of dirt back there.
The only reason to bring it up is aesthetically, when you drive in now, things are starting to look cleaner.
Good, good.
Yeah, in my opinion. So. All right. I really don't have anything else. I think the main thing at this point is this, where we sit and see how these projects are, are looked at, coming into July. Summer. I'll follow up again with you on the east.
Mhm.
Right. And then you'll just talk to Scott
Yep.
quick. And then,
I won't go there because I usually end up buying something.
You need new sheets, all right?
I do,
I have that issue too, yeah.
I need a tow behind, I need a wagon to tow behind my tractor. And if I go there, I might walk out with it. So, is there anything else anybody wants to bring up, new business wise?
Nope.
No? All right. That's all I got. Do you wanna?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second it.
All here? There you go.
Good summer.
You all right?